order at 6:30. We have two people coming in. John, would you like to come up first? John is for the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Good evening. Thank you for having me here. My name is John Camera, 562 South Main Street in Attleboro. Been a lifelong resident of the city of Attleboro, and I've lived for the last 46 years in the same place with my beautiful wife, the redhead sitting in the back.
You are a smooth talker.
You have to be. We have 5 children. They're all grown. We were foster parents for 25 years, and we had about 50 kids come through our house.
Wow.
So I've been well trained on that one.
Yeah.
I enjoy being involved with the city, and I've been involved with the city before. Basically, I worked most of my life in the city of Attleboro. I did take a little bit of a turn in Boston, which was a long trip. I have experience on the Solid Waste Committee when we first started, when the city was trying to get together the recycling program. So I was on that board. That was interesting. I served on the planning board for a while, and that was interesting. I went all the way through the chairs up to the middle chair. From there, I figured there was other people coming on, so there was a position on the Conservation Commission, so I asked to be appointed there, and I was appointed there, which again, I went through the chairs and ended up in the middle chair. And that was interesting. I liked it a lot. I like serving with this for the city. I also was the planning board representative for Serped for 2 years. That was totally different.
Yeah.
That was wider ranging. It's regional instead of just local. I think it's important that we have good volunteers, or volunteers that will come forward and serve on these boards. I think it makes everything go the way it goes, makes it easier for everybody. My main concern on being on any of these boards is that we go by the program and we take each individual situation that comes up to us on a one-by-one case, and looking at the rules and regulations and the ordinances and making sure that everybody's playing on a fair playing field. And basically, that's what I think the main focus is of any of the boards that I was on, not just the ZBA, but Conservation Commission and the Planning Board. That when I was on there, we had really good people, and there's still good people there. But we all took it as, by the rules, play the game the way it's supposed to be done, and it's not a problem. If you don't, well, then we've got to have a discussion, because everybody needs to be on the same page. I don't know if anybody has any questions.
Well, I want to thank you for, obviously you've been pretty busy over the years and helping the city out a lot, and much appreciated, and thank you for that. I, by reading the questionnaire you filled out and stuff, it's obviously very impressive, and I think you'll do a great job, and I appreciate it. Any others? Councilor Blair.
John, all the times I've been either at a meeting you've been working on or been in your company, you've always come across with, like I said, common sense, politeness. It's great to have you participate.
Thank you. That's the way I was brought up.
You must have come from the east side.
Yes, I did.
Okay. No, it's great. And you still willing to serve.
I love it.
That's great.
I'm hoping to add, if I'm confirmed, to add value to the board and to also learn the things that I don't know.
In my opinion, you will add a lot of value to that board.
Thank you, Councilor.
Councilor Waterman, and then Councilor Dolan.
Well, I find your your resume not only extensive, but very, very full of what have you missed in the city? That's really what I'm thinking.
I haven't been mayor yet. I haven't sit on the council yet.
Yeah, that thought did cross my mind while you were talking. What would be unique, if anything, in your mind? And I realize you're not on on this board yet. What would be unique to the Board of Appeals?
They're basically to look and make sure that we maintain the rules, everybody plays by the same rules.
Right.
That's very important to me. And I think that's what it was on any of the other committees or boards that I was on. And to do the right thing.
Right.
And always keep the city and the residents of the city on the top of your mind when any decisions you're making.
Yeah, you really have to, because I'm assuming what you're saying is what you decide in the Board of Appeals can have reverberations elsewhere
Absolutely,
if you're not careful.
absolutely.
Yeah. And I understand that, being the chair of the License Committee,
That's a tough one.
it can be the same way.
Yes,
So thank you so much.
thank you.
Councilor Dolan?
Just a comment, I appreciate how much you appreciate the rules. And clearly, you have a deep commitment to the city, and I think that's fantastic, and I think that you'll be an asset to this board. So I appreciate the fact that you're willing to serve again.
Thank you, Councilor.
Great, well, thank you, sir, and, this will go into committee, and then it'll go into full council, and then you'll get, you know the drill, you'll get a letter, and then come on down and get sworn in.
Okay.
Great, thank you,
Thank you.
sir, appreciate it.
Thank you for your time.
Take it easy, John. Thanks a lot.
Sam, you're up.
Alrighty. So my name's Samuel Harrington. I live at 334 Oak Hill Ave. Lived there my whole life. I'd just like to say I appreciate you guys giving this opportunity to stand here tonight. So I'm trying to be confirmed as a constable. I have a bachelor's degree in science and criminal justice, Bridgewater State. Graduated 2019. Since then, I've been working in the field. I do have experience being a messenger on the street, which I think will help me be a constable, because that's mainly, the job duties, navigating routes, throughout the Commonwealth. I worked for Brink's Armored Car, and it was a very challenging job. Every day I had a new route. I'm just going to all kinds of institutions, residential addresses, commercial addresses, educational, entire campuses I had to navigate, trying to find, ATMs at Gillette Stadium, facing those challenges I think will help me navigating to different addresses as a constable. So a year ago, I didn't know what a constable was, but over the past several months, I've been able to network with a few constables throughout the state. I know 3 who have been confirmed this year, one in the city of Rockland, one in the city of Raynham, and one in the city of Framingham. I've been able to talk to them about the job, and they all work for the same agency. One of the biggest agencies located in Cambridge, Constable's Office of DeRosiers and Associates. I've talked to James DeRosiers about working for him, and he told me to, first step, I got to get confirmed by my city. That's what I'm here today. Definitely interested in the job. It's an issue when, tenants don't pay their rent. For the most part, landlords, they're productive members of society, and when the tenants don't pay rent, they have to go through a process. It's costing these landlords money and time, so I'd like to provide a service for those people. I'd be happy to do it. I currently work for TSA, looking forward to, moving on to the next chapter. I come from a hardworking middle-class family. My mother worked for the United States Postal Service for 32 years. She set a good example for me, to never give up, be a hard worker, I'm not an expert at, constable work, but I look forward to becoming an expert for sure.
Well, on a good note, you'll have, we have 2 great constables.
Mm-hmm.
One that was just appointed, but has been well-known in the city, Leo Johnson and Benny Keene.
Oh yeah, Leo's the former court officer, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And 2 great people that I'm sure would be happy to, help and learn from.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Constable Blair.
If I'm not mistaken, you said you want to work for a company? And
Yeah,
they told
yeah.
you to get your constables?
Yes, an agency located in Cambridge. They have many constables working for them. serving all kinds of notices.
I'm not positive, but our constables are only allowed to serve papers in Attleboro, am I
Right,
correct?
Yes.
Do you,
Yeah.
do you realize that?
Yeah.
No, honestly, no.
So you can't, just because you're a constable in Attleboro, you don't have the authority to issue warrants and the rest of it outside the city of Attleboro. You didn't know that?
No, because from what I've been told from the three constables, you know, like I said, in Framingham,
Must-
Rockland, and
it's-
Raynham, they're working throughout the state.
It's another,
Doesn't work that way in Attleboro.
I was wondering that because I know we
Talking
do have a district court, you know, in the
He-
city, so I was
Yeah,
curious
just
about
let me
that.
interrupt for 1 second. Sorry, Sam. What I think it is what Sam is doing is he needs to get experience here first, and then at some point he will be working for this other company. I think, is that correct? So, which would be, but by reading what you'd sent earlier, in your letter from the mayor's communication, was that he needs to get the experience first, so he'll be able to work for another firm at some point. I think that's correct? Yeah, yeah. So for Attleboro, once he's here, he'll just be doing constable work in Attleboro, and then at some point, he'll have the experience, you know, as like, this will be a stepping stone, I'm thinking, and he can continue to be a constable here, and then at some point, he'll work for another company, or that would, you know,
Could
be
you
a separate.
verify that before we?
Yeah,
yeah, if I may say, I think he could, Peter, honestly, if it's a job, he's talking about a job in Cambridge, correct? Isn't that
Yep.
what you're
Yeah.
talking, a company in Cambridge?
which would be separate than
That
here.
would be separate,
Yeah.
that would be his job, but he
Yeah.
also would like to have the job of being a constable for Attleboro,
That's
which
why
I believe
asked-
is,
Yeah.
That's why I asked him if he realized he couldn't serve papers somewhere else.
well, he could,
Under
if,
under
I
that
I think if
constable.
he had a job somewhere else,
correct.
he could also be a constable here, but he can only serve for Attleboro
Right.
in Attleboro. So we'll check that
Yeah.
out, but I
Yeah.
do believe that's
Yeah.
that's the way.
I was
it goes.
under that impression,
Yeah.
you know, over the years, so I just didn't
Yeah.
want you to get,
Yep. Either way, I'd be happy to
Off on a
serve, you know,
tangent.
the city of Attleboro for sure.
Yeah.
You know, that's all.
Any other questions? No? All right, well, thanks, Sam.
All right, I appreciate you guys.
Appreciate it, and so once, if this gets approved and goes through, then you'll get a letter coming in to get sworn in by Clerk Jackson, and then, so you'll just have to make arrangements to come on down when she's available, okay?
Ready?
All right, thanks, appreciate it. Any questions, just give me a call. All right, that's all for Personnel, Veterans, and Human Services Committee. Call for adjournment.
we got any other committee
Yeah.
meetings?
All right, I'm sorry?
Are you voting anything out of committee or no?
I don't think I have, unless I have the paperwork for, I wonder if I can still do it. See, I only have it for Jonathan Camara, I don't have, but I only have my council members, I don't have my committee paperwork with me. I was trying to talk to Virginia about it, but she was tied up, so.
Do you need a copy?
Do you have, well, but does it have Sam's also? See, the one for,
Well, wait a minute, maybe at the bottom.
I don't think I had my committee meeting for last week.
No.
No, all right, we'll handle it next time. All right, okay. That's all for Personnel, Veterans, and Human Services Committee. Call for adjournment at 6:44.
Second.
All right, all those in favor? We are
Aye.
adjourned.
Aye.
Aye, we're adjourned at 6:44.
Anybody else got any committee work? I'd like to call Public Safety Committee to order at 6:44. Have one motion this evening from the docket of September 19th, 2023. I entertain a motion to approve extending of such funds and any future grant amendments as it pertains to an anticipated receipt of the FY24 911 training grant from the Executive Office of Public Safety and Security in the amount of $307,504.98. There is no matching funds. We have been very fortunate over the years to receive this grant year after year. I think this is the largest amount I've seen,
Yeah.
the 307,000.
I'm gonna second
And it
that,
is-
Peter.
Huh?
I'm gonna second that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just,
Thank
you're
you.
welcome.
Step on me if I get out of line, will you? This is the largest amount I can remember coming down. So they do a great job over there applying for these grants. I mean, we get them year after year, and it's a great asset to the department to have this money for training. A lot of it goes into, I believe, the dispatchers and the people that take the calls over there. So the training is ultra important, especially in these times. And I'd like to thank the department for writing these grants. We're very fortunate to have people that are able to write them and obtain them. I'm sure there's a lot of cities and towns throughout Massachusetts that don't get the amount of grant money that we get. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Move to adjourn at 6:46.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you.
meeting of the Municipal Council to order at 7. Please join me for a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I would entertain a motion to approve the records for July 18th, July 20th, August 15th, and September 5th.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments? Seeing none, we'll have voice vote. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. There are no public hearings this evening. I would entertain a motion to enter into committee of the whole.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? We are now entered into committee of the whole. Does anyone have any business they would like to bring before the municipal council? Please approach the podium. And just your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Anthony Marine, and its address is 500 Menden Road, Attleboro. Okay, and first of all, good evening, and I thank you for this, allowing me to speak tonight. I promise I'll be as brief as I can. I won't keep you long, but on August 24th, I mailed the mayor of Attleboro a letter asking for the privilege of raising a Christian flag over the city hall. And just to give you a little background, I just want to read you a little portion of the letter that I sent her and see where I'm coming from. And I'll be brief. I put, Dear Mayor D. Simone, as a resident of Attleboro, I am contacting you today regarding having a Christian flag raised over City Hall for 1 month sometime this fall. The flag has a white field with a red Latin cross inside a blue canton. I will provide the flag so there will be no cost to the city. I'm not asking anything else from the city except for this privilege. I know that at least one other flag, other than the American flag, state flag, city flag, or POW/MIA flag, has been raised over Attleboro City Hall in the past year. Therefore, I seek the same opportunity to have a flag raised over City Hall that represents Christians, like me, who call Attleboro their home. What is allowed for one group must also be allowed for other groups, so that would be discrimination. And, I put thank you for your attention for this issue and your desire to improve our community. I look forward to your response. My contact information is below. If you prefer, I would be glad to meet with you. And the mayor responded quickly, too, and I do appreciate that. She responded, please know that in view of the recent legal authority addressing flag raising on municipal flagpoles, government speech, and other associated issues, the city remains in the process of evaluating relevant policy terms and has imposed a moratorium on any related use of flagpoles, pending such reviews. Once again, I do thank the mayor for a quick response, but I did write back for her asking for clarification, and the mayor responded by saying, and I quote, while he continues his review, I will defer to the city solicitor regarding any questions relating to legal issues of flagpole policy terms, end quote. So that brings me here. Just a few weeks ago, a different flag was raised over the city that did not represent all of the citizens of Attleboro. My question is, why was that allowed? And do these policy changes regarding the issue involve input from the public? And if not, who gets to decide these policies? I also wonder what the review of government speech and other related issue means. Personally, I'm in favor of only allowing the American flag, the state flag, city flag, and POW/MIA flag to be raised over the city. But since exceptions are being allowed, I respectfully request the same privilege. I am hoping that the City Council can help me in this issue. If you would like any more information, I'll be glad to provide it to you. And that's my presentation. Thank you for your time. And, it is an issue that, in fairness, so I don't know where to go from here, but.
Thank you for coming down tonight. I appreciate it. Does anyone have any questions or comments for the speaker this evening? Council Reynolds?
I would like a copy.
Yeah.
of that. Okay.
Yeah.
A copy, if you'll give it to our,
Oh, sure.
she'll make copies and put them in our, if you don't mind, or you can send it to her via email.
Yeah, that'd be better. It's a little
Okay,
marked
yeah.
up.
Okay, yeah.
But I'll be glad to do that. If you like, I could, or for the the emails back and forth, and it's also in written form. I'll get them to you, yeah,
Okay,
sure.
that'd be great, thank
Okay.
you.
Great. Additional questions or comments? Council Waterman.
Thank you for what you're asking. It's a very interesting issue. I don't know the answer, but perhaps you do. Are all denominations, Catholic and Protestant, represented by this flag?
I don't know the answer to that, but in a broader sense, I understand that this opens up to almost any group. I mean, you could be, I don't know, you could be a tree worshiper and you want a flag raised. Since it's allowed for one group, my argument is that every group will probably want to have this flag raised. And so that's why I'm coming back to the point where I'm in favor of just having those main flags as a I don't know, law or whatever. And I'm not in favor of having any other flags. And I'm only bringing this up because, once again, if you allow it for one person or one group, you're opening it up. And it isn't, and you could open yourself to lawsuits and, that kind of thing. So it's something to consider. There is precedent. You might know the case in Boston, and I'm not a speaker, as you could tell, but, and I'm not a lawyer, but there was a case brought, and, there's other cases involved. So I just that when I seen, other flags being raised, I'm saying, well, get me on board also. And I think it's a fair question, and that's all. I just wanted to bring it to the attention. I haven't heard anything about this, and it just, where I'm sitting, it just, needs to be addressed.
Sure. Council Reynolds.
I just want to suggest to you that I think it's a fair question to ask as well.
That's all. I'm not out there protesting. I'm just bringing this issue to forefront.
To light.
To light.
So, Anthony, if you don't, first of all, thank you for coming down.
Sure. You're welcome.
Yeah, it's an interesting query you raise. I do feel confident in our city solicitor. If it's been sent to the city solicitor, he's done a nice job with this. As Councilor Reynolds has suggested, if you could get your written comments to the council admin, she'll be able to get that to us as well.
Okay, great. And I
Okay.
can get that on the website, perhaps?
It's council
Okay.
at cityofattleboro.us.
Great.
Okay.
Very good.
Vice President Kovas.
And for clarification, what is the flag that was recently raised that you have taken offense to?
He didn't say
not
to take
offense.
offense.
Or
He
if
was-
it
Yeah, I don't want to,
Offense.
I'm
concerned
not,
about?
yeah, my issue is, well, there was a flag raised, I believe in June, the LGBT flag,
Okay.
and I could be wrong, but I think it was raised for 1 month. I could be wrong on that. It was either a week or a month, I'm not sure offhand, but, and so, that doesn't represent all the citizens of Attleboro. So I think it's again, I go back to, I think we should have these main flags that I talked about. And also, keep in mind too, who's making these policy decisions? I mean, that's another reason I wanted to bring it out into the public. And just, we're at the discussion phase, but I don't think it's something that should be hidden.
Sure. Additional questions or comments? Thank you for bringing this, Council Reynolds.
I was just going to say, this isn't the first time I've heard this come up in conversation, which is why it's in the solicitor's office for
Yep.
review as well, because in fairness to this gentleman, he's not the only person that says, well, can I put up my flag as well?
Yep.
And where does the no come from? So I think it's a good thing that we're looking into it and making a decision for all.
Yeah.
Council Holmes.
Thank you. Yes, I think it's a fair point, and I'm glad the city solicitor is reviewing it. Even flags, the American flag has even been altered sometimes, which is really not supposed, there's just been, the etiquette around kind of flags has shifted over the years, and I think it's an interesting point. So, yeah, that concludes my comments.
Thank you. Additional questions or comments? Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else who wishes to address the city council? Lee, come to the podium, please.
Good evening. I've never addressed the council before. I am Lee Fremo. I live across the street at 46 Pine Street, which is Gardner Terrace. Right now, our building is going to be undergoing some major renovations, and it's going to take some time. They've already started. And what they're doing is they're bringing in all kinds of construction equipment workers, and they're taking away a lot of the parking spaces that we normally, as residents, have access to. Our visitors' lot has already been removed. That's for the construction equipment and whatever. And then a lot of the spaces in our regular lot have been eliminated. Right now, they're doing the outside of the building when it's good weather, and then this is going to take several months because starting in December, they're going to revamp and remodel the apartments one by one. Anyway, the problem is that a lot of the parking spaces over there are going to be taken away. And as far as trying to park on the street, if you look around that area, you see 2-hour parking all over the place. And before it gets to be a problem and people get tickets, I was wondering if at the city's discretion, they could establish a no-ticket zone where people from my building, in case they had to, could park out there without violating the 2-hour limit. As a case in point, every now and then they clean the parking lot of leaves and stuff. Several years ago, we had to move our cars so they could clean the leaves. So I put my car in the street, and I did go over the 2-hour limit. I got a ticket. I came in and I appealed it. I said, look, I'm not a train commuter. They don't want the train commuters. I had to move my car out, and I got a short and sweet letter back saying, the sign is plainly marked, you will pay. So I was just wondering if, again, for residents of Gardner Terrace, before it gets to be a problem, if we could establish a neutral zone, no-ticket zone or whatever, in case. Again, they keep us in the dark about a lot of this stuff. I just know that this is going to take months. But with all the construction crews and the equipment, today I had a big crane outside my window. It's taking up a lot of the spaces. So if we do have to park on the street, I don't mind parking on the street, but I don't have to worry about getting a ticket every day or two because, as I said, I understand the logic. They don't want people, train commuters parking here and, going back and forth. I understand that. So that was what I was wondering about, again, before it gets to be a problem, because this project is supposed to take, again, several months. So that's what I wanted to address the council about.
Sure. I'll address Madam Clerk
Are there any comments
first.
about that?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm sorry, is it Fremo? Is your name Fremo?
Lee Fremo, yeah.
Lee Fremo. Mr. Fremo, you would be competing with City Hall employees over there too. So I don't know how that would play out because right now, we who work here at City Hall,
Yes.
we have a pass so that we don't get ticketed and we have to park out in the street because there's no room in the lot anymore for us.
Right. Yeah,
So
I see
would
that.
cause- Yeah. So I'm thinking in my mind, maybe further down the street, but before where Zito's Market used to be and the recreation center, maybe we could look into something like that, like on the next block.
Yeah.
That could happen.
Yeah, because I don't personally, I don't mind, where I have to park. I don't mind, walking a few blocks. But like I said, I just don't want to have to worry about, I think they didn't they eliminate the winter overnight ban? I think they just did that because we
Yes.
don't have snow like we used to. But as I said, if you drive around there and you look, there are an awful lot of signs that say 2-hour, 2-hour, 2-hour. And so like I said, before this gets out of hand, I just thought I'd bring it up now, rather than later saying, hey, we've got all these parking tickets, what do we do about it? So.
Sure. Thank you, Lee. I appreciate that. Councilor Angelo?
Thank you, President Delcio. Thanks for coming in. It's very important, and obviously there's a lot going on, which is great that they're getting this started, and so I'm happy about that. Do you have any idea how many spots are going to be displaced?
No, I don't.
No.
We've had a couple of meetings about what's going on over there, but it's been, again, very general. They just showed us, what is going to, they're going to remodel our apartments. They're not just putting in, new paint. They're knocking down walls, rearranging it. What they're doing is, right now they're doing the outside work, but eventually they're going to move us one by one from our apartment into another apartment for 6 weeks while they knock down the walls, change the thing, and then put us back in our original apartment. But it'll be a different layout and all that. But it's going to, like I said, it's going to be a lot of construction, a lot of equipment. We've got workmen in and out of there right now. And again, this is just the beginning. So that's why, again, I wanted to catch it before it gets to be a problem.
Councilor Blair.
Do you happen to know, or can you get how many cars are over there? To see if we can find a place for them to park? Is there 50, 40, 20?
Well, I could give you, count up how many spaces there are. As far as how many actual residents have cars, I don't know.
You should be able to get that, I would assume.
So,
yes, we could
if I
count
may,
the number of
Peter,
spaces.
What I plan to do, Lee and Peter, is I'm going to refer this to ordinances. So we can take a look at that and see if we can provide any sort of relief. So, Councilor Tavares, you and I can talk offline about the best way to handle it. As you well know, Lee, this is a very important project to Gardner Terrace, one that's been a long time coming.
Yes.
But I think you raise a really valid point, and I think that it's something that I have confidence in Councilor Tavares that he'll be able to take a look at the parking ordinance, work with the appropriate parties to see if there's some kind of relief we can provide. Councilor Tavares.
And just a quick
Yes, sir.
question, Mr. Freeman. Do you know offhand how many units there are in the complex?
It's 93 to 94, something like that. I keep, I'm not the
Well, that's
exact
fine.
number.
Thank
And
you.
again, I don't know how many people exactly have cars. I don't think they're going to eliminate all our parking spaces, but right now it looks like, the workmen take priority, obviously. So I'm just saying, in case we come home and there's nothing, can we park on the street, again, without the fear of a ticket? I have on my car a thing on my window. They used to give out things saying Gardner Terrace. They haven't done that for a while. But, I just thought that way, if we all had something in our window so that it says Gardner Terrace, then the meter person, when they come around, says, okay, no parking, no ticket zone, Gardner Terrace, So again, I'm trying to address it before it becomes a problem. That's what I've said. So, all right. Well, I brought it to your attention. Thank you for your attention very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lee, nice to see you as
Good evening.
always. Thank you. Do we have anyone else who would wish to address the council? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to arise from committee of the whole.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We have arisen from committee of the whole. We will now go into a reading of the mayor's communication. Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mayor's communication number 1, September 19th, 2023. Dear municipal councilors, I am pleased to inform you that the City of Attleboro was recently awarded 2 Best Practices grants from the Community Compact Cabinet, which is known as the CCC. The Community Compact is a voluntary, mutual agreement entered into between the Healy-Driscoll administration and individual cities and towns of the Commonwealth. In a community compact, a community will agree to implement at least one best practice that they select from across a variety of areas. The city applied for and was awarded a $50,000 Public Safety Best Practices grant and a $45,000 Housing and Livable Communities Best Practices grant. The Public Safety Best Practices grants are awarded to municipalities interested in several critical subject areas. After consulting with Chief Hegney, we decided to apply for a public safety grant to establish NFPA 3000, compliant active shooter hostile event response protocols for our police, fire, and EMS departments, and to hold regularly scheduled integrated training sessions. This training is critically important for the safety of our residents and public safety professionals. The Housing and Livable Communities Best Practices grant will be used to hire a consultant to help the city create an affordable housing trust fund and/or adopt the Community Preservation Act to fund production and preservation of affordable housing in the city. As city planner, Gary Arasian and a team of resident volunteers are beginning the city's housing need assessment. Gary and I agreed that this would be an ideal time to explore the possibility of establishing a municipal affordable housing trust fund to help the city address our housing needs, and these funds will support that effort. In accordance with Chapter 1, Section 12 of the revised ordinances of the City of Attleboro, I hereby request your honorable body approve expending of such funds and any future grant amendments. Copies in your packets.
Madam Clerk, I'm calling an audible. We're going to split this into two motions.
Okay.
The public safety grant will be going into public safety, and the housing and livable communities best practices grant will go to zoning and land use.
Thank you. Okay. I respectfully submit a communication from Chief of Police Kyle P. Hegney regarding the anticipated receipt of the $119,000 in funding via the Department of Mental Health Massachusetts Jail Arrest Diversion Single Department Grant Program. The Massachusetts Jail Arrest Diversion Program is a DMH initiative which assists police departments with obtaining mental health services via clinical support. This grant will enable the police department to contract with Community Counseling of Bristol County to have a clinician work with the POP team to offer on-site support and embedded field response. Monies from this grant will be expended no later than November 1st, 2026. I applaud Chief Hegney for his great effort in securing these grants for this important program. Thus, in accordance with Chapter 1, Section 12 of the revised ordinances of the City of Attleboro, I hereby request your honorable body approve expending of such funds and any future grant amendments. Copies in your packets.
Public safety and emergency management, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from Chief of Police Kyle P. Hegney regarding the need for funds to pay a fiscal year 23 invoice to Blackington and Company. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body transfer $270.75 from account 1210100-558208 Police Supplies to account 1210100-578020 Police Bills from previous years. Copies in your packets.
Public safety and emergency management, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from Attleboro Public Schools Director of Finance, Mark Furtado, regarding the following fiscal year 23 fiscal obligations that were not received in time to be processed in the normal fiscal year 23 business cycle. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body to authorize the school department to pay these previous year's school bills totaling $7,262.04 as identified in Mr. Furtado's communications. Copies in your packets.
Finance Committee, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from Director of Council on Aging, Kelly Lee, regarding the receipt of a grant from Bristol Elder Service in the amount of $7,514. This grant will be used for mind and body programming. There is a non-federal match required by the city. There is a non-federal, I said it right. In accordance with Chapter 1, Section 12 of the revised ordinances of the City of Attleboro, I hereby request your honorable body approve expending of such funds and any future grant amendments. Additionally, I hereby request your honorable body transfer $1,326 from 1124100-578300 Citywide Reserve Fund for transfer to account 1124100-599200 Citywide Transfer to Grant, and further transfer $1,326 to account 2337N4-499700 Bristol Elder COA Mind and Body. Copies in your packets.
Personnel, Veterans, Human Services, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from Superintendent of Wastewater Thomas Hayes regarding the needs for funds to hire an outside consultant to provide the required safety, health, and compliancy training. As stated in the communication of September 5th, 2023, Personnel Director Lynn Devine has identified a need for an update to the city's job safety trainings and protocols. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body transfer $26,460 from account 6000-578300 Wastewater Enterprise Fund Reserve Fund for transfer to account 6000-530180 Wastewater Enterprise Fund Safety Study. Copies in your packets.
Public Works Committee, please.
I recently informed your honorable body about a potential new community alert notification system called Civic Plus Mass Notification System, formerly called Civic Ready. Civic Plus is the platform that hosts the city website, which is undergoing a much-needed redesign. Civic Plus Mass Notification System will integrate with our city website, allowing the city to have a faster process by which to create, test, and deploy emergency or routine alerts across multiple channels and to an unlimited number of subscribers. Civic Plus Mass Notification System uses various channels such as SMS, email, voice calls, mobile apps, and social media to quickly and efficiently disseminate critical information, including emergency alerts, public safety announcements, community updates, and other time-sensitive communications. Our current alert notification system has a contractual subscriber limit of 500. Every additional 500 subscribers would cost the city close to $1,000, which in a city of 500 residents, it's clearly not cost effective. Moreover, in light of recent flooding and other weather events, the need for a more robust alert notification system has become a priority. It is expected that there will be a 4 to 6 week period between purchase and the system going live. Ideally, this purchase should come from Budget and Admin Emergency Alert account. However, a purchase order has been secured out of our citywide professional services account in order to expedite the process. Upon approval from your honorable body of the following transfer, the accounting office will make the necessary account corrections. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body transfer $14,942.36 from account 11241000-578300 Citywide Reserve Fund for transfer to account 11331000-530185 Budget and Admin Emergency Alert.
IT and infrastructure, please.
Excuse me. As I'm sure you agree, City Hall is more than a municipal office space. It is where residents come to engage in various community events and programs, utilize city services, observe and participate in municipal council meetings and public hearings, and attend merit board, committee, and commission meetings, weddings, and other special occasions. Equally important, City Hall is also where hardworking city staff members serve and assist residents and respond to their particular needs, concerns, and questions. For these reasons and more, it is important that City Hall maintain an environment that is welcoming, safe, accessible, and appropriately respectful of our residents, taxpayers, visitors, and employees. Accordingly, I am requesting to make a few updates and improvements to the building's interior. Specifically, we are seeking funds to turbo scrub the tile floor, power scrub and treat the rubber staircase on the back entrance, steam clean the hallway carpeting on the second floor and the front stairs, clean fabric chairs in the council chambers, council meeting room, and council annex. Purchase new carpet mats for the first floor, purchase lockable notice boards, replace broken and stained ceiling tiles in hallways and offices, install a water fountain with bottle filling station, install tempered glass windows with pass-through and speaker holes for the planning, assessor, and city clerk's department service counters, and lower the height of the city clerk department service counter in accord with ADA standards. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body transfer $14,396.50 from account 11241000-578300 Citywide Reserve Fund for transfer to the following accounts. $8,296 to account 11241000-524011 Citywide Building Maintenance, $3,600 to account 11241000-530346 Citywide Plumbing Services, and $2,550 to account 11241000-543010 Citywide Supplies Building Maintenance.
City property and claims, please.
In light of recent flooding and heavy rain events, the city offered residents and local businesses the opportunity to go to the Department of Public Works on Lamb Street to fill and take up 25 sandbags per household free of charge. Over the course of 3 days last week, approximately 2,500 sandbags were filled and taken. In order to expedite the purchase of the sandbags, an internal transfer of funds was made to secure a purchase order out of the proper account. As this expense was not budgeted for in fiscal year '24, these funds need to be replenished. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body transfer $2,450 from account 11241000-578300 Citywide Reserve Fund for transfer to account 11241000-542020 Citywide Supplies Office Equipment.
Public Works, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from Chief of Police Kyle P. Hegney regarding the receipt of the Public Safety Grant from Bristol County Savings Bank in the amount of $25,000. The Attleboro Police Department will use the grants to purchase active shooter ballistic vests and ballistic helmets, which will be divided between the police department and fire department members to further enhance their safety in efforts in responding to potential active shooter incidents. As you know, Bristol County Savings Bank has a long history of supporting local organizations and city programs On behalf of the city and our dedicated public safety professionals, I extend my sincere gratitude. Thus, in accordance with Chapter 1, Section 12 of the revised ordinances of the City of Attleboro, I hereby request your honorable body approve expending of such funds and any future grant amendments. Copies in your packets.
Public safety and emergency management, please.
I respectfully submit for confirmation by your honorable body the appointment of Rick J. Rathbun, 10 Tenant Way, to fill an unexpired term on the Traffic Study Commission, term to expire February 2024. Please note that he will be filling a 9/30/23 vacancy on the commission.
Personnel, Veterans, Human Services, please.
I respectfully submit for confirmation by your honorable body the appointment of Sarah Ryan Thoreau, 388 Tiffany Street, to fill an expired term on the Cultural Council, term to expire February 2026. Copies in your packets.
Personnel, Veterans, Human Services Committee, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from Chief of Police Kyle Hagney regarding a vehicle that the police department would like to surplus. There was no interest in this vehicle from any of the departments. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body to declare the following as surplus and available for disposition, for trade-in, or to sell. 2014 Chevrolet Impala, VIN 2G1WA 5E35E1104074, miles 133,436. It's very poor condition.
City Property and Claims, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from Treasurer Laura Gignac regarding office furniture that the Treasurer's Office would like to surplus. There was no interest in the listed items from any of the departments. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body to declare the following as surplus and available for disposition. Copies in your packets.
City Property and Claims, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from Superintendent of Water Courtney Allen regarding items that the Water Department would like to surplus. There was no interest in the listed items from any of the departments. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body to declare the following as surplus and available for disposition. Copies in your packets.
City Property and Claims, please.
Although recent rain events have resulted in the removal of drought status across the Commonwealth, the drought remains a serious long-term threat to the city and beyond. Having reviewed our current water emergency ordinance with Water and Superintendent Courtney Allen, we determined that it would be in the city's best interest to update it such that it aligns better with current best practices, as outlined by the Mass DEP Water Management Act program. Accordingly, I respectfully submit a communication from Superintendent of Water, Courtney Allen, regarding the need to update Section 16-12.24 Water Emergency Ordinance. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body to amend Section 16-12.24 of the revised ordinances of the City of Attleboro as follows. Copies in your packets.
We will waive the reading as it is 4 pages. That will go to ordinances, elections, and legislative matters, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from Personnel Director Lynn Devine and Budget Administrator Director Mason Lord regarding memorandum of agreement between the City of Attleboro and the Attleboro Police Association, NCOP, Local 352. The city and the police union were able to reach an agreement for an additional 3-year contract from July 1, 2023 to June 30th, 2026. Year 1 of the contract includes a 3% cost of living adjustment COLA and the placing of all officers on the same wage table and dropping a step that is not currently used. There will be a 2.5% COLA in year 2 and a 2.5% COLA in year 3. Longevity for years 7, 10, 15, and 20 years was also increased to reward the officers for their continued service. The negotiating team feels very strongly that this package will assist the department in both of those issues. While all issues cannot be addressed in one contract, the team is confident that this package put the city in much better position to address the issues faced by the city. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body make the following transfers totaling $195,000.
Public Safety and Emergency Management, please.
Sincerely, Kathleen DeSimone, Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We'll now go into a reading of the second clerk's communication.
Mayor's communication.
Mayor's communication.
Mayor's communication number 2, September 19th, 2023. Dear Municipal Councilors, I respectfully request your honorable body to hold a public hearing on Tuesday, October 3rd, 2023, for the purpose of setting the tax classification for fiscal year 2024. Additionally, and in order to ensure that the city has sufficient time to prepare and mail the third quarter real estate tax bills by December 31st, 2023, I further request that your honorable body hold a meeting of the Municipal Council no later than Tuesday, October 17th, 2023, for the purpose of voting on the percentage of the local tax levy to be borne by each class of property for fiscal year 2024.
Finance Committee, please, and Vice President Cobus, would you like to call for a public hearing on October 3rd, 2023?
I would.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.
I respectfully submit a communication from Director of Budget and Administration Mason Lord regarding the updated state aid and assessment estimates for fiscal year 2024. On August 9th, 2023, Governor Maura Healey approved the Commonwealth's fiscal year 2024 budget. The Division of Local Services subsequently released final cherry sheets estimates with new figures for state aid and assessments. The city's fiscal 2024 was constructed using the House Ways and Means cherry sheet estimates, the most up-to-date figures at the time. Considering the final adjustment to estimated aid and assessments, the city must make corresponding changes in the general fund budget before certification of the tax rate. With the release of the final estimates, the school choice assessment increased by $175,491, and the charter school assessment increased by $24,696. All other assessments remained equally, resulting in a total assessment estimate of $5,871.78. I still said $5,008,071.782.
$5,871,782.
Right, just like I said.
Easy to stumble over, believe me.
I knew that was going to happen.
You did just fine.
Therefore, I hereby request your Honorable rescind the appropriation of $5,671,595 to 1980100 state and county charges intergovernmental council vote number 7 on 6/6/23 and replace it with the following: $5,008,071,782 to 1980100 state and county charges intergovernmental. Additionally, the release of final estimates also brought an increase in project state and figures. Charter tuition reimbursement increased by $201,737, and unrestricted general government aid increased by $105,736. Net offset receipts total forecasted state aid increased by $307,473. The net result of the increase in assessments and the increase in state aid in an additional $107,286 for the fiscal 2024 budget. To remain in balance, a supplemental appropriation needs to be made. Therefore, I hereby request your Honorable approve a supplemental appropriation of $107,286 to account 1124100-578300 citywide reserved fund for transfer to properly reflect these measures on the fiscal 2024 tax recap. It is necessary to vote on this matter before submission of the fiscal 2024 tax rate. Copies in your packets.
Finance Committee, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from Director of Budget and Admin, Lord Mason, regarding new growth. During the preparation of the fiscal year 2024 budget, an estimate of the new growth increase in the community's Proposition 2.5 levy limit was used so that the preliminary limit could be calculated and a revenue estimate established. On September 1st, the Board of Assessors received approval by the Department of Revenue for a final new growth number of $1,230,452, which is $255,452 greater than the estimate carried in the fiscal year 2024 budget. The final per pupil administrative costs were not set by the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education until after the fiscal 2024 proposed budget was sent to your honorable body. The final per pupil administrative cost is lower than the amount used in the fiscal 2024 budget, and therefore a supplemental appropriation is necessary. After discussions with School Finance Director Mark Furtado, there is a need for funding for required HVAC filter changes and other building costs that are eligible net school spending expenses. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body approve the following supplemental appropriation. $95,557 to account A4220070-551070, School Department Maintenance of Buildings, Non-Educational Supplies, School. Additionally, as the goal of this administration is to provide half of the excess new growth to the school department, which would amount in $127,726, therefore, I hereby request your honorable body approve the following supplemental appropriation. $127,726 to account A4220070-551070, School Department Maintenance of Buildings, Non-Educational Supply, School. Furthermore, following the school receiving half of excess new growth in the supplemental appropriation to address the final per pupil administrative cost, $32,169 remains. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body approve the following supplemental appropriation of $32,169 to account 1124100-578300, Citywide Reserve Fund for transfer. To properly reflect these measures on the fiscal 2024 tax recap, it is necessary to vote on this matter before submission of the fiscal 2024 tax rate. Copies in your packets.
Finance Committee, please, and well done, Madam Clerk. That was a lot.
Sincerely, Kathleen D. Simone. Sorry about the mess up.
Yeah, it happens. It's a lot of numbers, so don't even worry about it. Now, we can go on to the clerk's communication.
Oh, sure. Clerk's communication, Tuesday, September 19th. We have received a petition from Massachusetts Electric, DBA National Grid of Brockton, Mass., that it desires to construct a line of underground electric conduits, including the necessary sustaining and protecting fixtures under and across public ways at 27-39 South Main Street. This is for a new commercial service for a new constructed multi-residential building.
Public Works Department, please. And Councilor Dolan, would you like to call for a public hearing on October 17th?
Sure.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
That concludes all the communications for this evening, Mr. President.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We will now go into committee reports, and as always, we will start with our friend, Mr. Waterman.
Well, let's begin. Reporting from the docket of August 15th, 2023, and we already had a public hearing. I would move to approve the application from Paul R. Courtmanch, 32 Andover Avenue, requesting to keep on premise Section 9-32.3, more than one unregistered motor vehicle, total of 6.
Second.
Thank you. Motion's in order. Any comments, Councilor Waterman?
Well, we had a very thorough discussion, I felt, last week. I am not recommending this. I feel this would establish a precedent that would be a bad idea.
Additional questions or comments on this? Councilor Blair?
I agree with Mr. Waterman. That's on the books. And if we allow that for an individual, you're gonna get flooded with applications. You won't be able, you really hurt neighborhoods. I mean, I have no personal, grudge about anybody, if they're rebuilding a car and they keep it on a garage. But we have an ordinance that says one unregistered. And I think we ought to stick to it to protect property values and this becoming a nuisance citywide. I agree with you, Ty.
Additional questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll have a roll call vote, beginning with Councilor Waterman.
Mr. Waterman?
No.
Ms. Dolan?
No.
Vice President Cobus?
No.
Ms. Holmes?
No.
Ms. Reynolds?
No.
Mr. Angelo?
No.
Mr. Tavares?
No.
Mr. Blair?
No.
President Delicio?
No.
9 noes, no nays, no yays.
Motion fails.
7 yays. How'd we ever say that?
I know. That's the first one this term.
And that concludes the business of the License Committee. We'll meet at the next appropriate time.
Thank you, Councilor Waterman. Councilor Dolan?
Thank you. Reporting for Public Works Committee from the docket of September 5th, 2023. I entertain a motion to transfer $5,373.24 from account Citywide Reserve Fund for transfer to account Recreation Mower.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
This is a mower that we approved 2 years ago that we still haven't received, and of course, same verse, same as the first, is that how it goes? So it's $5,000 more, so we need that to order a new one that supposedly we'll get in the spring.
Additional questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll have a roll call vote, begin with Counselor Blair.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you, motion passes.
From the docket of September 5th, 2023, I move to transfer $1,800 from account Citywide Reserve Fund for transfer to account Animal Control Maintenance of Vehicles to repair a 2007 Ford F-150.
Second.
Thank you, motion's in order, any comments?
This, we held up in committee. I know Council Blair was looking, I don't know if you got what I put in your box with the invoice that I brought in. So this is for AC2, for the bearings and then the alignment and everything with a small contingency, which is a little less than 10%. We don't have a indoor mechanic anymore, inside mechanic anymore, so we had to go outside for it. I'll get that invoice to you. And also, you had asked about air conditioning, that
Was that the same vehicle?
neither truck has had their air conditioning repaired.
Oh, okay.
So I did find out about that. So that's all the comments I have.
Counselor Angelo.
Just add one thing, that also included brakes for that too as well.
Yeah.
Additional questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll have a roll call vote, begin with Counselor Waterman.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you, motion passes.
From the docket of September 5th, 2023, I move to rescind vote number 13 of February 7th, 2023. The council voted 9-0 to accept an easement from Harry J. Perry and Sharon A. Perry for construction of a public sidewalk on the front of their property at 536 Reed Street.
Second.
Thank you, motion's in order, any comments?
This is just to rescind the vote because there were changes. So I'll be reading that motion next.
Okay, we'll have a roll call vote, beginning with Counselor Blair.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you, motion passes.
From the docket of September 5th, 2023, I move to adopt an order of taking on the provisions of Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 40, Section 14, Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 79, and under all applicable authority for the construction and public use of a sidewalk therein, a fee simple interest in the area of land shown on the plan entitled Easement Plan of Land prepared for the city of Attleboro, Reed Street, Attleboro, Mass., number 536 Reed Street, Assessors Map 76, Lot 474C, dated October 3rd, 2022, revised July 6, 2023, prepared by E. Otis Dyer, RPLS.
Second.
Thank you, motion is in order, any comments?
So I assume everybody remembers the footage changed and I had attorney Casey here. Does anybody, okay, sorry, I won't ask anybody else questions. But anyway, a little bit of the footage changed and there were a little bit of changes that we explained in committee last time. And, that's all the comments I have.
Additional questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call vote with Counselor Waterman.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you, motion passes.
That's all the business I have for Public Works Committee, and we look forward to a committee meeting at the next appropriate time. And also, Traffic and Transportation has no business this evening, and we look forward to a committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you, Counselor Dolan. Vice President Cobus.
Thank you. Reporting for the Finance Committee. We have one item tonight from the docket of September 19th, 2023. I move to authorize the school department to pay these fiscal year 23 previous year school bills totaling $21,922.31 as identified. B&R E-Rate Consulting, $6,631.25. Flynn Scientific, $24.57. UMass Medical, $15,260. $66.49.
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Dolan. Motion is in order. Any comments, Vice President Cobus?
It's previous year's bill.
Additional questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll have roll call vote. Begin with Councilor Blair.
Mr. Blair?
Excuse me, yes.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
And that's all the business for the Finance Committee. Call for a committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you, Councilor Holmes.
Oh, IT.
Reporting for IT and infrastructure,
Sorry about
we don't
that.
have any business tonight, and call for a committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you, Councilor Holmes.
Thank you. Reporting for Zoning and Land Use Committee this evening, I only have one motion. From the docket of September 19, 2023, I move to transfer $975 from account Citywide Reserve Fund for transfer to account Assessor Map Services.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
We went over in committee.
Additional questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll have roll call vote. Beginning with Councilor Waterman.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Reporting for city property and claims, from the docket of September 19th.
One moment,
No,
we just
just-
need,
Sorry. I
I'll call for
apologize.
committee meeting at the next appropriate time. That's all the business. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Councilor.
Okay,
Sorry,
thank you.
sorry.
No, reporting for city property and claims from the docket September 19th, 2023. I move to accept a donation of a caliber sycamore tree to Highland Park, estimated value $150 from Liz Nadow.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
We discussed it last week.
Additional questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll have a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
From the docket of September 19th, 2023, I move to approve a 42-month lease agreement with Konica Minolta for 2 production copiers, and they will be at the copy center in the Attleboro School Department.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
I have none.
Additional questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll have a roll call vote. Begin with Councilor Blair.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
From the docket of September 19th, 2023, I move to declare the following school department vehicles as surplus and available for disposition. A 1995 GMC Sierra pickup, it's not operational.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
I think it's self-explanatory.
Additional questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll have a roll call vote. Beginning with Councilor Waterman.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
From the docket of September 5th, 2023, I move to accept the generous donation to the city of Attleboro of an 8x4 pressure-treated bridge, along with 2 accompanying signs and a park bench, estimated value $3,000 from Sherry Dumont and family.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
We discussed this last week.
Additional questions or comments? Seeing none, this will requires a voice vote. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
From the docket of September 5th, 2023, I move to authorize the payment of an FY23 invoice to U-Haul. The amount is $56.66 from Fund 2320 by the Council on Aging.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
I have none.
Additional questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll have a roll call vote. Begin with Councilor Blair.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
From the docket of September 5th, 2023, I move to pay a fiscal year 23 invoice to Atlantic Elevator in the amount of $5,000 from Fund 2212 by the Council on Aging.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any
I
comments?
have none.
Additional questions or comments from the council? Seeing none, we'll have a roll call vote. Begin with Councilor Waterman.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
From the docket of September 5th, 2023, I move to accept the donation of 2 large indoor plants with a value of $100 from Level Acres Farms. In accordance with Section 1-12 of the revised ordinances of Attleboro, the mayor requests your honorable body to accept these generous donations.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
I have none.
Any additional questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll have a voice vote. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
That is all the business City Property and Claims has this evening, but I would like to call a committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you. Councilor Angelo.
Thank you, President Delicio. From the docket of September 19, 2023, I move to approve the following two positions for opioid settlement fund plan implementation through the police department as follows.
You may waive the readings. You read it in committee.
Thank you, sir.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
We spoke about this in committee.
Any additional questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll have a roll call vote beginning with Councilor Waterman.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
From the docket of September 19, 2023, I move to approve the following petition to the general court to enact the following legislation.
Second.
S
We're going to read this one.
Oh, sorry.
No worries.
S1677/H2 549, an act relative to the amendment of MGL Section 30, C32, Section 42B, 42C solely as they relate to the calculation of Walter L. Gurden's pension, being enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives and General Court assembled, and by the authority of the same as follows. Section 1, notwithstanding the provisions of Section 24B and Section 24C of Chapter 32 or any other general or special law to the contrary, Walter Gurden shall receive a retirement allowance based upon 32 years of credible service calculated by the Attleboro Retirement Board as of the date of his retirement, November 17, 2017. Section 2, this act shall apply as of November 17, 2017, and the Attleboro Retirement Board shall pay to Walter Gurden any amounts owed between the date of retirement and the passage of this act. So retirement allowance shall be subject to the provisions of Section 103 of Chapter 32.
Second.
Thank you. Motion's in order. Any comments?
We discussed this in committee.
Do we have additional questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll have a roll call vote beginning with Councilor Blair.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
On the docket of September 19, 2023, I entertain a motion to make the following transfers as agreed in the MOA for the Attleboro Laborers Association Local Number 1144.
May I waive the readings? You read this in
Second.
committee last week. Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
We discussed this, it's contractual, we discussed this in committee.
Long time coming. Glad to see it come to fruition.
Absolutely.
Additional questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll have roll call vote beginning with Councilor Waterman.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
On the docket of September 19, 2023, I move to transfer $26,000 from account Citywide Reserve Fund for transfer to account Personnel Safety Study.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
We discussed this in committee last week.
Additional questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll have roll call vote beginning with Councilor Blair.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
On the docket of September 5th, 2023, I move to approve the following changes to the personnel rules and regulations for exempt employees. Article 54, 54, uniform and clothing allowance.
16.
Oh, I'm sorry, 16. God, my apologies. All right. Article 16, uniform and clothing allowance, Section 2, add Assistant Recreation Director, add to payment eligibility for employees in a position that is included on the list and then is promoted to another position on this list. The allowance shall be made upon approval of the change. Article 22, stipends, Section 1, each outreach worker, case manager that possesses a licensed certified social worker, LCSW certification shall be paid an annual stipend of $2,500. In addition to the regular compensation, new employees will not be eligible for this payment until completion of 1 year service.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
We discussed this thoroughly last week.
Additional questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll have roll call vote beginning with Councilor Waterman.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you, motion passes.
That's all for Personnel, Veterans, Human Services Committee. Call for a meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you, Counselor Tavares.
Thank you, President Delicio. Reporting for ordinances, elections, and legislative matters. We have one item tonight from the docket of September 19th, 2023. I move to call for a public hearing on October 3rd, 2023, to vote and release deed conveying all of the city's right, title, and interest in the property known as Reed Street, Assessor Map 25, lots 13 and 14, to the heirs of Walter L. Kelly. Upon completion of the vote and release deed, the executed documents need to be returned to the treasurer's office to be recorded at the Registry of Deeds.
Second.
Thank you, motion is in order. Any comments?
I have no comment.
Okay, we'll have a roll call vote beginning with Counselor Blair.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you, motion passes. Counselor Tavares.
Thank you. That concludes the business of ordinances, elections, and legislative matters, and I call for a committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you, sir. Counselor Blair.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have one motion to bring forward this evening. From the docket of September 19th, 2023, I move to approve expending of such funds and any future grant amendment as it pertains to anticipated receipt of the FY24 911 training grant from the Executive Office of Public Safety and Security in the amount of $307,504.98. There is no matching funds required.
Second.
Thank you, motion is in order. Any comments?
Other than I'm proud to see this amount of money coming to the police department, and I applaud them for their efforts in obtaining these grants. This has been the largest one the largest one I can remember coming down.
Great, thank you. Additional questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll have a roll call vote beginning with Counselor Waterman.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you, motion passes.
I have no other business this evening for public safety, but would ask for a committee meeting next week at the appropriate time.
We can do that for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. There is no old business, there is no new business, and I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. We adjourned at 8:02. Thank you, have a great night, everyone.
You too.